We all know that consistency is key when it comes to growing as a content creator. It's almost a cliche at this point, but it is really true. The difficult part though is actually implementing this advice, and chances are you might be making one of the 5 most common mistakes that creators run into when it comes to their creative process, leading them to post inconsistently. Mistake number 1 is that you post when you feel like it. Look, I get it. We're all waiting for inspiration to strike so that we have the best ideas possible to make into content. And I will admit that ideas that come to you out of pure inspiration usually do make the best videos. But the problem is amazing ideas like that don't just fall into your lap every single day. And so you can't rely on that to build a career as a creator. Like, inspiration is just too fickle. To be truly consistent and therefore build an actual reliable income as a content creator, you need to make content even when you're not feeling inspired. And how do you do that? With routines and systems. The way I've been able to make a weekly video pretty much without fail for the past 5 years has not been because I'm just incredibly inspired. It's because I have routines and systems. I really like this quote because I think that it demonstrates it perfectly. It's from Octavia Butler. Forget inspiration. Habit is dependable. Habit will sustain you whether you're inspired or not. Habit will help you finish and polish your stories. Inspiration won't. Habit is persistence in practice. So what habits do you actually need to build as a creator? It starts from first determining what your deliverables need to be. Do you want to post a weekly YouTube video? Do you want to publish 3 Instagram Reels per week? Do you want to make a podcast every week? Start by figuring out what you want that end result of consistency to actually be, and then we'll work backwards from there. Okay, so let's say you decide that you're going to post a YouTube video every week. Now you need to break down what the actions required are to actually make that happen. So you can make a list. Maybe it's come up with an idea, write the script, film the video, edit the video, and get it uploaded and scheduled for publish. Now you have an actual list of discrete tasks that need to be done in order to be consistent. Next, I want you to take it a step further and actually schedule out when you are going to do each of these tasks within your existing weekly routine. So maybe you decide Monday is the day where you sit down with your coffee for an hour and brainstorm ideas. Tuesday is when you write the script, Wednesday is when you film it, and Thursday and Friday you work on editing. That's just an example. Obviously, you want to choose a timeline that works with your existing schedule and other commitments in your life. If you plan the schedule to be unrealistic, like the kind of thing that your ideal self would do, it probably won't happen. Try to make it as simple and easy as possible for your current self to execute on. Another crucial step is to create a place for you to actually gather inspiration when you're not in your active workflow. I keep a Notion database of all of my YouTube video ideas, so when I'm just out for a walk or working on something else, if an idea comes to me, I can add it in there so then I can reference it when I go to actually plan my next video. I do this in just another tab of my content calendar, and actually I have a Notion content calendar template that's totally free if you want to use this system for yourself. I'll link it in the description. Number 2, you don't have a format. This is another really common barrier to consistency. A format for your content is basically like a repeatable structure that you can use again and again, but with different subject matter or a slightly different theme or topic or approach. It's sort of the packaging of your content. For example, here on this channel, you might have noticed that I have a couple series, Coffee Chats with Katie, for example. That is a format. It's sort of a mini show here on my YouTube channel where we just sit down with our coffees and chat about some tips or advice I've been thinking about lately for creators. Another series that I've just started recently called Behind the Screens. Vlog style videos where I share a bit of a peek behind the curtain of my own current strategy, what's working, what's not, what I'm planning to do next. These are formats. These are structures that I can add to my content calendar. I can repeat again and again, but with a different topic, a different approach. It gives me a really great starting point for coming up with ideas for my videos. I also have formats with my Reels, though they aren't really publicly branded series. They're more just internal formats that I think about. For example, talking head tutorials. That is a format I love to use on Reels pretty frequently. I also do these wide angle selfie opinion style videos that are usually pretty short, 20 seconds, where I'm just sharing some thoughts I have about the the creator world. And then of course, we've got the B-roll with text on screen and music format. When you come up with formats like this for yourself, they don't actually have to be like a public-facing show that you brand like Coffee Chats with Katie. It can just be a way that you think about your content to give you like a box, a package to like place your ideas in. Honestly, a lot of really successful YouTubers use this strategy. For example, Michelle Correa's Challenge Accepted, Sophia Nygaard's The Internet Made Me Do It, or Cleo Abrams' Huge If True. These people all have formats or like shows that they repeat again and again, but with different subject matter. Not only does this really help from a creative brainstorming perspective, because in general, when you limit your options, it actually helps you to be more creative. Sometimes if you start with a completely blank slate, it can be hard to come up with anything at all. But if you tell yourself, hey, you need to make a new episode of Coffee Chats with Katie, that's at least somewhere to start from. So it really helps with brainstorming, but it also helps to build trust with your audience because they come to know what to expect from you, which makes them more likely to click on your next video because they know what they're gonna get. So consider how you could develop some formats that will help you come up with ideas faster, build more trust with your audience, and therefore post more consistently. Mistake number 3, you're not making repurposable content. If you want to increase your posting frequency, but you don't necessarily have more time to do that, the best solution for you is gonna be to design your content around being repurposed onto other platforms or formats. One really great method for that is using the ideas that you've come up with for one platform or format and then repurposing those ideas or concepts into other smaller pieces of content. For example, in this YouTube video, I'm going through 5 major things that might be holding you back from being consistent. I could take just one of these talking points and turn it into a TikTok or a reel. So I could grab that section of my YouTube script, I could modify it a little bit so that I add a hook at the beginning to stop my viewer from scrolling and add a little bit of an outro. And then I would re-record it in vertical format and edit it into a reel. Another method, and this is more the typical method that you think of when I say repurposing, is using a larger piece of content and turning it into several pieces of micro content by generating clips. I think the perfect example of this is a video podcast. Like really, I think creating a video podcast is a huge hack for consistency for content creators. It gives you the ability to record one long form, high value piece of content and then turn it into a ton of clips, which I find podcast clips seem to be performing really well on TikTok these days. Like they're all over my For You page. So you can record one long format horizontal video podcast, and then you can turn it into tons of vertical clips for TikTok, Reels, and YouTube Shorts by using a platform like Munch, the sponsor of today's video. So Munch is an online tool that's basically the hack for helping content creators make short form content quicker and more easily. You can create a ton of clips from a YouTube video, for example, simply by pasting the link into Munch. Now, these aren't just randomly chopped up 30-second clips. Munch uses advanced AI algorithms to automatically detect the most engaging standalone clips from your videos. It detects things like your tone of voice, changing facial expressions, and other audio and visual clues that help identify meaningful sections of your longer video. What's really cool is Munch also takes into account data around what is currently trending across these platforms and what will be SEO optimized, and uses that information as well to pick the most effective clips for you to share. You can see here how I took an episode of the Creator Club podcast and turned it into a ton of clips that I can share directly from Munch. Not only are they automatically subtitled, but Munch has even suggested a caption that I can use. If I want to edit the clips further, I can just click on the edit button and change the style of the subtitles, for example, add a little title to the clip, and Munch has automatically created one for me. You can see all of this is so customizable, but the whole process is way faster because Munch has done like 90% of the work. Munch is a powerful pro clipping tool. It can speed up your workflow and help you stay consistent across platforms without adding a ton of extra time to your workflow. If you want to try out Munch for yourself, you can actually get 15% off of your first month by using my code KS15, and the link is in the description below. Number 4, You simply don't have enough time. Let's be real, this is a major and very real barrier for many creators. You know, I'm all about sharing tips for how you can optimize, be more efficient, get more done in less time. And all of that is possible, but at the end of the day, you only have so many hours in a week, and sometimes you just need help. So if that's the case for you, maybe it's time to consider outsourcing. I actually have an agency, Creatorly Media, that provides services for content creators like YouTube video editing, podcast editing, Instagram strategy, and so much more. So if you currently find yourself in the situation of just simply not having enough time and you want some help with the content creation process, you can check out Creatorly Media. I'll have our details linked below. Number 5, you get discouraged by the numbers. Honestly, this last one is probably the biggest reason why so many creators end up being inconsistent and even give up on creating altogether. And that's because when you do post, you aren't seeing the results that you want, which makes you feel less motivated and less inspired and less likely to make that next video. Trust me, I get it. I spent 10 years creating videos on this channel before I hit the milestone of 10,000 subscribers, so I completely relate to feeling discouraged by your metrics, because it is hard. It is hard to see numbers and just keep hoping and wishing that someday they will change. And I think honestly, all I can do is encourage you and tell you that I know from my own experience that it is worth it to keep trying. And I'm so grateful to my past self for continuing even when things were really discouraging, because now I've built a business for myself that allows me to travel and work from anywhere and make videos that I love for my job. The thing is, to find success on YouTube, you really have to work against your natural reaction to seeing metrics that you aren't happy with. Of course, you're gonna feel like, oh, what's the point? I shouldn't even try. I don't really feel like making my next video because clearly nobody cared about the last one. But actually, when you're seeing less than satisfactory metrics, that's the time when you need to try to get yourself re-inspired, try something different, get excited about content again. Because having that response is what's gonna actually change those future results. Because if you keep showing up making videos that you're only half-heartedly interested in, or you already feel like it's not gonna perform well before you even finish recording, that is how you're gonna stay in that rut of not seeing the results you want. And I get it, I have a lot of empathy for that situation. I find myself in that position sometimes too. When you are not getting the feedback that you want from YouTube Studio, it makes you feel like giving up. But in fact, that is the time when you need to do a 180 and try to get even more excited and inspired about content than you were before. The content creator journey, especially on YouTube, is such a roller coaster emotionally. And really the best thing you can do is just try to avoid having that roller coaster being reflected in your consistency of posting. Another major barrier to consistency as a creator, I think anyway, is confidence. When you don't feel confident about what you're creating, or you feel insecure about filming yourself, that can make it really difficult to grow as a content creator. If you're struggling with that, particularly with vlogging or filming yourself in public, I just released my ultimate guide to not feeling awkward when you're filming yourself in public. These are the techniques that I have implemented over the years so that I can vlog, capture my memories, and make fun videos out of my life, and try not to let social anxiety hold me back. So if that is something that you're interested in, make sure you check out that video next. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can get 15% off your first month of Munch using my code KS15. And as always, I hope you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.